just joined in. We have a quorum of the actual committee, so Katie's now a liaison for the committee, and I'm sure she'll be here in a minute. So we can get started answering questions, or if you guys have any further comments.
Good morning, let's go ahead and start the meeting at 8:36.
And make sure you guys project, please.
Okay. We have all business to review and consider December 2nd draft meeting minutes. Any question on the minutes?
No.
All in favor to accept the minutes?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, action item. Let's go over the financial report from October, November, on audit report. Any question on those in discussion?
I have questions.
Go ahead.
I said Tasha earlier. Some of them were grouped together, so I'm just gonna go down. So community mailing was significantly over budget, and you listed all the reasons why, but was none of that planned for October, sorry. So October, I just saw that it was budgeted at $5,500, but we spent $29,000. So I just didn't know with your list of things that you sent out for mailing, was that not already planned, and how come that wasn't budgeted accordingly? We went significantly over. And the things you listed was reminder statements, assessment statements, fine statements, the post, the budget mailer, the candidate mailer, and then the mailing notice for the December meeting, which is not scheduled to take place. But the rest of those seem like things that would have been planned.
So the annual mailer, let's see. I'm sorry, were you looking at December? Okay, I see you're looking at November, October.
Well, they all went over a lot. Okay, October, it was supposed to be 5,000, and it was actually spent 29,000 in October. In November, it was budgeted at 10,000, $6, right? But it actually spent 21,000, and then in December, it was budgeted for $1,000, but they actually spent $13,000.
So
We're
in
not
the,
talking about a couple of $100 extra. That's significantly higher all 3 months.
sorry, I'm looking for the email with these answers.
Felicia, can we go back to last year's report to see in comparison? I know there is always a financial report, that we send out annual. Did we forget to budget it for the month of October? Were you able to pull last year's number for comparison?
Yeah, that's a good idea. And November and December.
Yeah, to
But I
see.
understand if you have an extra mailing, it would go over budget, but all 3 months, they not only went over, but went over a lot. So that's a good idea. The last year.
Yeah,
See if, because I know we always send out additional mailing toward the end of the year. You have the election going on, right?
so we're happy to do a comparison on the mailings comparatively from last year to this year, but I will tell you that reflected in October is likely, and probably November, because some of those invoices trickle down. We had a removal election this year or last year that it was not budgeted for, which costed many thousands of dollars.
But that would have been in 1 month. That would have reflected in 1 month.
Correct,
right?
correct.
So we're talking about.
Because there's some invoices that are gonna come later.
Again, with the trickle down of invoices, some of that might have come in a little bit later. And again, with a comparison, we can do the breakdown and let you guys know exactly what that looked like. But that was a big expense that was not budgeted for and expected. That was, although towards the middle of the year, a lot of times those trickle down into more end of the year expenses because we don't always get those invoices right away.
Okay, so explain to me how it's trickled down. Something happened in a month, why would it trickle down to the other month?
Because sometimes we don't get invoices until the month later, a month later, or something like that. So
Okay, but if it costs thousands of dollars for something you didn't plan on, you even have a December meeting that you had to let the homeowners know about. If, even though you have to trickle down, it wouldn't be, I don't know, explain it, a few $100s here in this month and $200 here in this month, instead so it would trickle down. What I'm looking at is thousands of dollars in 1 month. It doesn't look like a trickle down, it looks like a big chunk of something that wasn't planned.
Yeah.
So
In the comparison, I think that will give you the clarification that you need.
like, what did we not budget for that we missed? Because
Again,
way over.
The removal election, I bet you, is probably the culprit of that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
So we still have a pending item for the report on the minimum cost. And also provide us a comparison. So
The comparison for the.
Yeah, from last year, because like you said, the removal may have cost additional money that we didn't budget for 2021, when we look at it for 2025. Because I know we went through every single list.
Yeah, well, and we'll be
So-
comparing 2019 to 2020 in this case.
Right, okay. Okay, and then the not irrigation, the water. I know that's not anything we can control. We use water, we have to pay for it. But that's another budget question. Did we miss that? Because you told me that it was based on historical data. And if it's based on historical data, it would still need to be higher because of what we actually use. So we need to, I know we can't change the budget. Can we not change it even in the coming months to say, look, we're not budgeting.
So, and what you're really looking at is 2019, or excuse me, 2020 still, right? So we're looking at October, November 2020. So those numbers were put into place the prior year before. So there's nothing we can do to change that or 2021 to this point because those budgets are already set.
But even that year before, we knew we had irrigation issues. I mean, this is not a new thing.
Correct,
So
yes.
How come we didn't budget to know that we were going to have, we're gonna be using a lot of
Yeah,
water
sure.
because we know we have irrigation problems. We need to be planning to pay for it until it's corrected. Then over time, we can say, okay, now our money is being saved and we have
Yeah.
that money.
No, I agree with you.
So,
I can tell you, I wasn't here at that time, but I can tell you that the finance committee at that time went over the budget and they were assisting and developing that, and the board accepted whatever was put forward. So I can't speak to why they did that or what inflation numbers that they used regarding that budget item, but
we couldn't even alter it like next month, because I know that a budget is
no.
always fluctuating. It's like, okay, well, we learned from this month, that was the wrong number to put on a budget line. So next month, let's make sure that.
Unfortunately, we cannot.
Correct it, not a month, wait a whole year to correct the budget.
Yeah, and also.
Drives me crazy.
I
If you
know.
recall, we did add additional money into water feed. And so knowing that we still have the irrigation replacement plant, but if you have a significant leakage somewhere, that is gonna add to the water feed. But because we already correct those 4 meters that we didn't identify in 2019, 2020's budget, right? 2019, there were 4 meters that we did not know. So that's why we have a significant usage of the water we did not know that was not budgeted for 2020, but we did add those into 2021's budget. So that could be still carried over
Okay,
because there's 4 additional meters that we didn't know about. And there's also the water fee we did add into 2021, knowing the irrigation system is still not.
And typical,
It's not replacing it, it's still got 2 more years.
exactly, and typical management practices is on utilities, you inflate by 3 to 5% of whatever the historical data was from the prior year, which is what did happen for 2020 as well as 2021. But to Chief's point, yes, when I was the director of operations and I did an audit of our water bills, there were meters that were never accounted for in prior years. So I had to add this to the budget to ensure that they were listed.
okay, so we just didn't account for that early enough in our budget. Okay, because even November, it was budgeted 50,000, 61,000.
Yeah.
Like that is just, okay,
The summer was in the 80s, if you recall, we had discussions.
okay. All right, can you please explain the association dues in November, why it's negative? You said it was double booked, and it seems like that's a lot. Can you just walk me through those numbers? In November, the association dues actual was in the negative. And I wasn't sure why. You said it was double booked, but I don't
Correct.
understand
So we
why.
switched systems over. We were using GenArt previously, and the CCMC switched over to a new system called VMS. And during that transition, there were certain accounts that were double booked with the assessments.
Double
Causing-
booked or double charged? The people were charged twice?
Correct.
Were they funded?
Of course, yeah, everything was,
The amount that
yeah.
was removed from the account.
yeah,
Okay,
everything's been corrected, but that's why you're gonna see those big discrepancies in November.
okay, so you just have to show that you got into income and then it cleared the next month or so.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense. In December, there was a lot of license fees and permits happening. Again, was that not something that would have been included or expected? So you have Adobe subscription, Shopify, Canva, SurveyMonkey, Secretary of State, software licensing. It seems like those things should have, again, it should have been listed or expected. And so we went over budget again. By a lot.
Secretary of State.
If I was listed,
It was,
the budget was $776, but they spent $3,549. Is that true?
Yeah.
If you ask me what page it was, I couldn't tell you because there were a lot of pages. But it was in December.
So the biggest of those expenses is gonna be the annual Secretary of State.
I don't know what it is, what is that?
There's an annual filing that you have to do with the Secretary of State, it goes along with all president fees. You just file it once a year.
Just state.
Yeah, it's.
Now, for the
You have to
Master
change it.
Association, we cover that cost for all of the sub-associations as well. That's our obligation, so that's a pretty big cost for us.
Okay, do we know how much that is by itself?
$23,000 and some odd cents.
What did you say?
$23,000 and some odd cents.
For the ombudsman fee, it's $23,953, yeah.
Holy cow.
Yes.
Okay.
It's no joke, huh?
But the Secretary of State is always coded in the licenses, fee, and permits. Okay.
And then decorations. There were decorations purchased. The budget was $0 and $14,000 was spent on decorations. That's not something that we, that's not a water thing, that wasn't a fine, that wasn't something that we haven't paid for, that somebody decided that decorations were okay to spend money on, even though the budget line item is $0. So can someone tell me what the conversation was on that when they decided that?
We not purchase the decoration.
So we
Because
did.
we do, but we.
I was under the impression that decorations were budgeted for in 2020.
They're always budgeted.
They're always budgeted for. Let me
So
check.
you
my-
have-
I know, but on the budget that I looked at, it said budget was $0, and then
That's why I said we always have budget for
decorations.
decorations for 4th July, even though we have no event, but they still have decorations. For the holiday, they still have a decoration, they still require some fee associated with it, even though we didn't have the event.
Yeah, no, I know, I didn't.
So that's why I say we always have budgeted, we definitely have dropped significantly in regards to the budget. But,
Not except that they have the decoration, it's not the decorations that bother me, it's.
but
it's
it
the
just question why it's
budget.
not in
And
the
they spend
decoration
money
budget. I don't know why we
Because
should
we
have
did
that.
budget. We knew some would have to be replaced as well.
Sorry, I'm bringing up the budget right now. It's just thinking. But I can assure you there's a number there. I just don't know what it is off the top of my head
For what,
for decorations.
So that's another pending item, we need to go back to first, now we got, I don't know, just the report didn't show it, but I know we definitely have budget for it.
We did.
Let's keep going, guys. Just as a reminder, Chu has to leave by 10 after 9.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm.
It's fine, you guys can continue, it's no problem.
yeah. It's 20 more minutes, guys. I just wanted to make sure we stay on track.
I just confirmed that what we have in our reserves, I have that number, and then, the total loan on the total due on the loan, we've only been paying interest on that, correct?
Yeah, I'm checking with Lydia. I'm gonna get to you guys an email as soon as I hear back from her, but we've started making payments, actual payments on the loan in January. I'm just trying to get that number for you,
Okay.
and I'll get that over.
Okay, and I just asked those questions.
That's what it's budgeted for, but I think it came in just slightly different than what it was budgeted for.
Okay, and I was just asking because you said that we had some surplus, and I wanted to know, I wanted to come in with an opinion on where we should put the surplus. I wanted to know
Yeah, that's
where we're
cool.
standing on all of those things, so.
That's perfect.
um,
Once we get through all the questions on the, with the financials, then that is definitely an item that we're gonna cover, and I have that number for you guys and to talk
Because I have
about.
the same question too about surplus.
Okay, and I'm done, those are my questions.
Thank you.
For the general report, that's all I have.
Perfect.
And then one of the next item will be the surplus fund, which on the reserve is $980,802.03, and our outstanding loan is $565,648.96. So I would like to propose for the board to consider paying off some of this loan with the reserve money.
Well, so that's what I was gonna find out from you guys, because at the October committee meeting, we talked about that we knew there was gonna be a surplus. We weren't sure how much it was at that time. And then at that time, the committee had agreed that you guys would like to put it, recommend to the board for putting it towards the actual park loan rather than the reserves or whatnot. So I just wanted to see if you guys were still in agreement for that, or did you have a different recommendation you wanted to make to the board of directors? And Katie, if you had anything you wanted to add to this, since you are a board member, please feel free.
I go back and forth as to whether or not to put it in the reserve fund, but,
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
oh, I said, I go back and forth as to whether or not to put it towards the loan or the reserve fund, but either way, I think it's doing either. So if you guys wanted it to go towards the loan, I'd be okay with that. Yeah, so.
Because if we take the money out of the reserve towards the loan, we still have about $400,000, $410,000.
Well, you can't take the reserve money, you can't take money out of the reserve to pay the loan. So it'd either be, you'd either have to put the surplus in the reserve or put it towards the loan.
Right, it can't, or you guys can split it and say, can we
Split it.
do half in the
Yeah.
loan and half
Yeah.
towards the
Yeah.
reserves?
Right.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted to take some out of the reserve.
No, we
You
can't.
We can't do that.
Yeah,
I
Can
am
we
in
do,
favor of paying off the loan, because that's something that's just hanging over our heads, we're due for someone else. Reserves is internal, and we can come back to that. Let's get rid of our outstanding debts. I am in favor of dumping
I
it all
agree.
towards the loan.
I agree.
This loan
I think we need to
out.
pay off the entire loan. And since, again, this year, we are in much better financial status by default. We cancel a lot of social events, a lot of things that we're scrutinizing. We are gonna have more surplus on a monthly basis. I think we need to pay off the loan. And there's still a lot of pending items on the table in regard to like the policy patrol servers that we want to look at potentially to start. So there are potential additional big number savings coming up. I really think that we need to pay off the loan. So I would like to recommend the board in considering paying off the loan.
just have one question on that. Do we have, I mean, I'm for that as well, but I also know that you need to have some in reserve, therefore called reserve. If something would happen, do we have enough? Do we feel comfortable? Something would happen, say, hypothetically, the entire water system blows.
Well, that's kind of
What,
already
we just
happening.
Just take out
Yeah.
another loan, I mean, would the
Yeah, no,
option be just to take out another loan?
So I will tell you, I think you guys can feel comfortable. Right now, the reserves are funded at about, I think, 55 or 52% or something.
Yeah,
54?
yeah.
Which is not fantastic, but it's considered acceptable. And I will tell you that the board is really working diligently right now to come up with ways that they can find cost savings, so that we can put more into the reserve and fast track some of those reserves. So I really think that the board is going to be able to find those cost savings. They've already started that process, and you know, I think you guys would be okay with making the recommendation that you guys
I'm
are.
for time for paying off the loan.
So Chu did that as a motion. Would you like to second that, Marcia?
Second, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is something interesting going on.
Okay,
So to go back, sorry,
Oh, do you have the
yeah,
decoration?
so
in mind?
for the decorations, it was budgeted in November, which is probably why you're seeing zero in December for 26,500. So it was budgeted in November, however, the invoice didn't come in until December.
Okay, it was budgeted how much? Though?
26,500.
Okay, so they actually were under budget. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know. Okay, thank you.
So the next will be the open comment period.
The only comment I have, and I know it's hard with all of our schedules, but we're already almost through the first quarter of 2021. And we are not seeing anything for 2021. Is it not, is it still in prelim stage?
So actually, the financials for January 2021 are going to be released today.
Okay,
I have some reporting, those will get to the board over the weekend and then get to you guys first of next weekend.
it's
So,
just a lot of data to review at one time. And
Sure.
to remember what we talked about the month before. And then, and like I said, we're already almost first quarter.
sure.
And, you know, that's a lot.
Especially, December came in at 15 December financial.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot. I'd like to go back and doing this 1 month at a time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
I agree.
I think too, last year was just sort of a strange year and a lot
Yeah.
of adjustments and COVID came and just slapped us all in the face. So I think that this year is really gonna settle back down for us and we're gonna be able to get into a groove again, which is gonna be great. But, you know, with that in mind, are you guys, I know, Laura, you said that you were having some issues making morning meetings sometimes. Would you guys like to find out when you can all meet up so that we can get a specific date and time scheduled each month moving forward? That works for everybody?
As of right now, my Mondays are fairly open, and then Friday mornings I can do. Sorry, but,
I'm good with either morning.
I can do evenings, but evenings get chaotic, I think, for people, so I don't definitely.
Either Friday or Monday, as long as we have it scheduled, I can work around. It was trying to schedule stuff we already had, that's where we were coming into the issue.
Yeah, and then for me personally, it's the kids' school schedule. I get my kids to school and they come back here, and then they keep changing their school schedule, so that's always super fun.
I could do afternoon meetings.
Do Friday mornings work at all if we
Depends.
plan on?
I don't, you know, my schedule fluctuates from day to day.
Well, that's,
So like, I have some, I already have some camping events Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So for the end of the month, March, already scheduled for it. So I don't,
our Mondays.
Monday afternoon is much better for me because
You
typically
need
I don't
Monday
schedule
afternoon?
events.
Afternoons,
Think about the kids and when they have to get out
Yeah,
of
your
school.
kids.
it's just complicated. Now I get the phone and I'm juggling everybody.
But Monday morning it won't work for you.
Monday mornings will work
Monday
for her.
morning I could, now I'm not juggling everybody. I could do Monday morning. Afternoon is when it gets a little tricky.
Okay. I can do Monday typically I don't have a lot of events, but weekends, like starting Friday and the weather change, I know I got some weekend events scheduled.
So Monday mornings at 8:30, let's do the last Monday of every month. Because typically we were doing the last Thursday of every month before.
As of right now, I don't have to get.
I'm okay for now.
Katie?
So that would be March 29th.
For Monday, sorry, it's a school thing. Can we push it to 9 o'clock?
Yes, absolutely. I'm fine.
We'll hold to you
Again,
guys.
the schedule's
Yeah,
not the
whatever
same
works for
all
you
week
guys.
long for school.
I'm
Okay,
fine,
okay.
I'm fine.
So the 29th at
How
9.
about Katie?
I do have something that morning, but I can switch it.
Well, and Katie, if you're ever in a position where you need to stay at work, because I know obviously, you know, you're at your office, we can Zoom you in if you ever need to just be Zoomed in and you can't really make it down here.
Okay.
So,
We're looking at the 29th.
so the 29th, so let's do the last Monday every month at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys are gonna need me. That's spring break. I'm sorry, I don't have kids in school, that's spring break. That's,
I can do
29 is
I
when
can do the Monday before.
Let's switch it up for,
Let's do the Monday before the 22nd. I'm sorry.
let's look at Monday, March 22nd.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Monday, 9 AM, and then starting in April, the last Monday at 9 AM.
Yeah,
on every-
that's okay.
That's fine.
22nd and 9.
Thank you.
Cool.
And we'll be reviewing January's report.
That's right. You guys will have it, like I said, early next week, so you have plenty of time to take a look at it and ask any questions that you need to ahead of time.
And then it's gonna be the last Monday of every month. Then like it'd be April 26th.
Yes. April what?
26th.
26th at night.
And then
You know,
May
I think
31st.
we'll schedule for that, but every month we discuss the following month, if we have to adjust it.
Well, maybe each month when I'm sending you guys out the financials, that's the question of, are we still good for Monday, blah, blah, blah. And then if there's any issues, you guys can always let me know. And you guys are all work pretty well together, so we'll figure it out as we go.
Okay.
It's just nice to have a date on the books,
Yeah.
Is there anything else for the good of the order?
Anything else? So we got couple pending items from, the financial report, and then also we made the recommendation to the board in regards to surplus funds. I think those are the pending items. Meeting adjourned,
Yes, ma'am.
9:02. Very productive.
Okay, Joe, you can stop the live stream. Thank you.